Let's take a look at the pathway of blood through the heart. Here's a heart. Here are the four chambers of the heart: the right atrium, and below it, the right ventricle. On the left side is the left atrium, and below it, the left ventricle. Blood from all parts of the body above the heart enters via the superior vena cava, and blood from all parts of the body below the heart enters via the inferior vena cava. This blood is deoxygenated and it enters the right atrium. It passes through the tricuspid valve and enters the right ventricle. The right ventricle then pumps it into the pulmonary trunk, which opens into two pulmonary arteries, each of which enters the lungs. At the lungs, the blood becomes oxygenated and turns red and returns to the heart via pulmonary veins. The pulmonary veins, two sets of them, enter the left atrium. From there, the blood passes through the bicuspid valve and enters the left ventricle, from where it is pumped into the aorta. The aorta takes the oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. Let's review the pathway of blood through the heart one more time. From the body, deoxygenated blood arrives at the heart via the superior and inferior vena cava. These two veins bring their blood into the right atrium. From the right atrium, the blood flows into the right ventricle via the tricuspid valve. The right ventricle then pumps the blood into the pulmonary trunk via the pulmonary valve. From the pulmonary trunk, the blood flows into the two pulmonary arteries, each of which enter the lungs. From the pulmonary arteries, deoxygenated blood enters the lungs, where exchange of gases takes place and oxygenated blood leaves the lungs. The pulmonary veins carry the oxygenated blood from the lungs back to the heart. This blood arrives at the left atrium. From the left atrium, the blood now flows into the left ventricle via the bicuspid valve, also known as the mitral valve. From the left ventricle, the blood is then pumped into the aorta via the aortic valve. The aorta, the very large artery, takes blood to all parts of the body, and this blood is oxygenated.